Hello, St. Timothy's. Father Steve here in the church to give you another update about what's been happening with the construction. I gave one on Facebook last week, but I want to give another one because things are about to really ramp up in terms of activity. And then once that starts and these things start, the shipments start coming in this week and next week, I'm going to reduce the amount of updates that I give, the pictures and the video that I put online, because I want you to see the final unveiling in all of its glory, and I want to save something for that time. Keep the suspense going on. But a lot has been happening. We're in the narthex now, and I have Luke behind the camera. We're in the narthex now, and it's a mess. But just to show you something that I've shown you before, these are the doors that are covered for both the chapel and the church. These will be the last things to be placed, to be installed. Amazing, beautiful, solid wood doors. They'll be painted red on the outside and a wood stain on the inside with custom hinges that are being made as we speak. And so those would be a beautiful entrance into both the church and the chapel. But if you'll follow me, so you can now begin to see, if you haven't seen the updates already, a bit of the drama that's going to happen. When you come in the door and you're in this liminal space, this transitional space, you'll walk into the baptistry, the place of Christian initiation. And a couple of things I just want to call your attention to is first is now we have the drywall up for the ceiling of the baptistry. And you can see this really, really massive, I think it's 11 feet in diameter, dome of sorts, of which there will be painted a dove descending upon the place of baptism. Now in this space, and all the workers are gone, so they can't fuss at me for doing this, but this is where, if you're an adult or a teenager, you will stand for baptism. There'll be a iron railing around this. The font is coming and will be installed here, and there'll be marble tile here, and you will stand in this place, right underneath the dove, as this profound place of Christian initiation. Everywhere that you see the slate's been pulled up, this will continue to be marble that should be here this week, honestly, from Spain. And then around the marble will be a line from Isaiah, when you pass through the waters, I am with you, giving the clear connection of what happens when we come into the church, we pass through the waters of baptism, we are grafted into Jesus Christ, into his death and into his resurrection. This will be an absolutely dramatic entrance into the church, and one that I'm really looking forward to tell you where these things are coming from. The marble is coming from Spain, and that includes the font is coming from Spain. We have two shipments. One will be here this week. The other is being loaded up, was loaded up last Friday, and will be delivered Christmas Eve to the United States, and we'll get it probably before the end of the year. And then when you come in, gosh, now you can see things are happening already. You see the columns, almost all the columns have been put up of glass fiber reinforced gypsum or GFRG. So this is not the finished product, friends. I want to make that very, very clear. This is just the beginning of it. So this will be installed. There'll be puttied mud put on it to hide all the installation pieces. And then it'll be painted with a textured paint, which is something that's extraordinarily high quality that we're looking forward to. So it already looks like stone, but it will have an even a more realistic appearance. The arches will go up, and you can see up here, hopefully, the framing for the triforium, for the blind arcading. Again, it's not finished, but you get an idea of how this is beginning to take shape. And you can see the blind arcading. They have two pieces up there just to give an idea of where it will be. The effect is, when you walk in, is that the church is going to feel, it's going to raise your eyes heavenward. This is really extending the height of the walls. You really find yourself looking up and seeing how your eyes are elevated. Down here on the east end, the window panes are all in except for one at the very top, which you can see. And then I'm hoping this comes across on this camera. It hasn't come across very well in previous ones, but the GFRG stone around all three windows. This really is a dramatic, beautiful addition to the East End that I know you're going to love when you come in. This is something that will add so much to the whole atmosphere of this church. And remember, the atmosphere of a church, as Sir Ninian Comper, a great artist and architect, once said, should bring us to our knees and should silence a restless heart. And these windows will certainly add to that. You can see all around we have all these boxes of the GFRG that should, according to the schedule, should be all installed by this week. And good thing, actually Luke, come stand here and you can see this the whole church from this angle. Good thing, because today, December 8th, our furniture, the altar, the pulpit, the altar rail, all of that is being released from Norfolk and Virginia, passing through customs, and that should be here in days, however long it takes to get here. 3 shipping containers full of 12 crates full of that furniture. So that's going to be quite the experience when they offload that into the church. And it's very likely that we'll have the marble, the first shipment, arriving maybe even the same day. I don't know, but it's been released from Savannah through customs, so it'll be making its way up here. So we need to get all of this out and installed so that the nave can be complete with all these other things. So what's happening next? Well, the timelines now, things are really coming together. So the shipment from Spain, the marble, they'll have to build up this area for the altar, the chancel, and the marble will go down here, also in the baptistry, and then the second shipment of marble will take place. We'll take care of the columbarium downstairs, and we'll walk downstairs just in a second. The liturgical stencil artists that we're waiting to come, we've been pushing that date back. They were supposed to come in November, and then they were supposed to come next Monday. Now that's been pushed back, and this is a good thing. This is one of those delays that is actually a positive development. They're coming January 4th. The reason is they're supposed to come Monday. Well, they'll paint for a week or so, maybe a week, and then drive back to Connecticut because of Christmas, and then come back down. What's the point? Let us get all this ready for them completely, and then have them come after the new year, and then they have the whole place to themselves to get everything ready. The pews are scheduled as of now to be delivered in just over a month. So hopefully once all the GFRG is installed and the flooring is down, then the pews can be in and we can put them in middle of January. The painting will still go on and there'll still be some other things to do. So it won't be ready in a month, but certainly, absolutely, we're now beginning to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I know it looks like the church is not complete at all or anywhere close to it, but remember, all these things should be installed and ready to go by the end of this week. And then once the other things come, it's a great ecclesiastical jigsaw puzzle. And they take the pieces and they put them together, and it will come together really quickly. All the construction, the things we have to build, by and large is done. Now we're just doing all the finishing touches to it, which will take some time. I mean, the good news is we're not allowed to come inside anyway. So it's a delay, but we're not really feeling it because we're having to be outside. And that's just adding more and more into the anticipation, and how much more joyful will it be when we'll be able to be inside. Let me show you, I showed you last week the vestry, but I'll show you again with the better camera, maybe better views. This is where clergy will dress. And I don't know if you can get a good view of the Arimathea cemetery. I love this view. You get to see this other great work that took place this year, late last year and early this year, is the cemetery for the Society of St. Joseph of Arimathea, which is 4 years old today, by the way. It was 4 years ago on this date that I met with representatives from both hospitals and the society was born. And since then we've covered the cost of cremation for over 130 children, and we've provided a place of burial for well over 50 babies. So thank you for your continued support on that. And then finally, we're now in the columbarium, and you can hear the echo. The acoustics are really amazing in here. They've been working hard to prepare the ceiling for the painters when they come. Keep in mind, this is drywall that they were able to bend, which is... I know nothing about hanging drywall. I do know that drywall comes in rectangular pieces, and they were able to manipulate this so that it would bend. I've said this 100 times before, but imagine this ceiling painted with a star scene of the night sky of the traditional date of the resurrection. And then here's what's been the most remarkable thing that's been developing the past few days. This groin vault is now really coming into its own, and is being ready to be painted. Keep in mind, there'll be a window here, and a window here. But they had to do all of this just to go ahead and get the heat in so they could get everything ready for painting, and the window frames should be here within the next couple of weeks, I hope. And these window frames will not be just plain windows. These will be windows with Gothic tracery, beautiful windows. Just trust me on that. But this is a really, really holy space that I'm really excited about coming into its own. Look, if you come stand over here, you can get an idea of the scale of the room in the columbarium. This part is half of the old choir room. And on either side will be marble niches for the cremains of our blessed ones. And in here will be a sanctuary. There'll be an altar in memory of Doris Googe. We'll probably have morning and evening prayer in this chapel. We may have the daily mass in here, alternating with upstairs and other places. So it's going to be a sanctified space, and one that I know you will enjoy. What is the other end, the other side of this wall, which is the other half of the choir room, is now going to be a place for our lay Eucharistic ministers, our acolytes, our choristers. They all can get ready down there. So that's going to be an exciting new addition. And then, of course, there's been other work on the other end of the hallway for the nursery and the children's classrooms. We're gaining a children's classroom because of the room where I used to get ready is now, of course, upstairs. So that room with its own restroom is now for the children. So we're gaining additional space by this rearranging. So that's what's happening right now. Again, I will show you pictures and video of some of the marble and some of the pieces of furniture when they arrive, but just to let you know, I want to give you one last big video, because I'm going to start reducing the amount of images that I provide, not to deprive you, but to build the suspense, so that once it's all completed and we have the grand opening and the video for you to see it, it will really be something. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your support, and thank you for your prayers.